everyone, and welcome to our educational session. My name is Paul Arsov, and I'm the founder of the Decentralized Web project. The topic of today is the underlying force behind intelligence, efficiency, and effectiveness. So I'm going to start talking about the topic right away, and then talk about our projects in the end of this presentation. But let's start right away. In a world fixated on productivity and performance, we relentlessly pursue the twin ideals of efficiency and effectiveness. But what lies at the heart of our ability to achieve these goals? For too long, we have been taught it's intelligence, our cognitive capacity, our problem-solving skills, our IQ scores that holds the key. This presentation challenges this notion, arguing that instead that efficiency and effectiveness are rooted in a far richer and more complex force, namely agency. We will uncover how our obsession with intelligence has obscured the multifaceted nature of agency and why embracing this complexity is essential for unlocking our true potential. So let's talk about agency. Agency is the capacity to act independently, to make choices and to effect change. It is the animating force behind every decision, every achievement, every step forward, whether by an individual, a team, or an organization. Efficiency is the act of accomplishing tasks with minimal waste, and effectiveness is the realization of intended outcomes that are not abstract qualities that exist in a vacuum. They emerge from agency, the who and the why behind the action. Imagine a startup founder racing to bring a product to market. Their success hinges not just on their intellect, but on their ability to choose a vision, rally a team, secure resources, and adapt to setbacks. A brilliant mind lacking the drive to act or the connections to find the dream may falter, while a founder of modest intellect but exceptional resolve and social acumen may triumph. Similarly, a student's academic success depends not only on their cognitive ability, but on their motivation, their family support, and the quality of their school. Agency is the thread that waves these elements together, determining how efficiency and effective goals are pursued. Historically and practically, our focus on efficiency and effectiveness has always circled back to this holistic capacity of the agency. It's not merely about skills or smarts, it's about the power to strategize, to mobilize resources, to persevere. Agency is the source from which action flows. Yet, in our eagerness to understand and enhance agency, we have often taken a shortcut, framing it in terms of intelligence. This move is reductionist, an attempt to boil down a sprawling, intricate concept into a single, tidy factor and then present it to us. Intelligence, with its promise of measurable clarity, has been elevated as the supposed core of agency, collapsing its many dimensions, namely creativity, emotional awareness, social skills, adaptability, and so on and so on, into something we can test, rank, and quantify. The appeal is obvious. Intelligence offers a linear scale, a seemingly objective yardstick for predicting who will succeed and who will fail. An IQ score or standardized test result feels like a concrete answer in a world of messy variables. But this simplicity comes at a cost. By equating agency with intelligence, we overlook the broader tapestry of factors that drive action. Motivation, for instance, can propel someone forward where a raw intellect alone may stall. Emotional intelligence, the ability to navigate one's own feelings and those of others, often triumphs cognitive prowess in leadership or teamwork. And external realities like access to money, mentors, or opportunities can make or break an agency's ability to act, no matter how bright they are. This reductionism doesn't just narrow our view, it fragments it. We start to see agency as a collection of separate silos, intellectual capacity here, emotional skills there, resources somewhere else. In doing so, we miss the dynamic interplay that defines real-world performance. A genius without funding is a dreamer without a stage. A motivated team without cohesion is effort without impact. Agency isn't a checklist of isolated traits, it's a living system where internal strengths and external supports dance together. To grasp agency through nature, we must embrace its complexity. Internally, it encompasses motivation, decision-making styles, emotional resilience, and personal history, each shaping how we choose and act. Externally, it's molded by access to resources, social networks, cultural contexts, and systemic structures, elements that can either amplify or stifle our efforts. These aren't standalone pieces, they're interconnected notes playing in a symphony, each influencing the other to create the music of efficiency and effectiveness. Take a thriving community organization, its ability to deliver results, say revitalizing a neighborhood. It relies not just on the leader's intellect, but on their passion, their ability to inspire volunteers, and their knack for securing grants. The team's collective agency draws strength from shared trust, diverse skills, and the local government's backing. Silo intelligence into a single box and you will miss the harmony of these forces. Or consider an artist crafting a masterpiece. Their technical skills matters, but so does their emotional depth, their persistence through doubt, and the patrons who fund their work. Agency is the conductor, blending these elements into a unified whole. By fixating on intelligence, we risk turning out this symphony. We design schools that prize test scores over creativity, workplaces that reward solo brilliance over collaboration, policies that ignore the structural barriers holding people together. The end result, systems that fail to nurture the full scope of agency and, by extension, the full potential of efficiency and effectiveness. What happens when we step beyond the narrow lens of intelligence? We open ourselves to a richer understanding of agency and to more effective ways of fostering it. In education, this means a curricula that cultivates not just cognitive skills but also emotional intelligence, teamwork, and resilience, preparing students for a world where success demands more than high IQ. In business, it means building cultures that value motivation, collaboration, and adaptability, alongside technical expertise, recognizing that company's agency thrives on the interplay of its people and resources. On a societal level, this shift calls for dismantling barriers and that constrain agency, like poverty, discrimination, or lack of access to education, and replacing them with support that empowers. Programs that offer mentorship to young entrepreneurs, for instance, don't just boost their knowledge, they expand their networks and confidence, unlocking their capacity to act. Policies that address systemic inequalities don't just level the playing field, they amplify the collective agency of entire communities, driving progress for all. Critics may argue that intelligence remains the primary driver, with other factors as mere accessories. But this view crumbles under scrutiny. Countless stories of brilliant minds derailed by burnout, of average individuals rising through grit and connection, reveals intelligence as just one piece of the puzzle. Even intelligence itself defies a singular definition. Analytical sharpness shines in one culture, practical wisdom does this in another. Social savvy does this in a third. To truly understand agency, we must widen our lens to include these diverse capacities and contexts. Efficiency and effectiveness have always been centered around agency, not a fragmented intelligence, only vision of it, but the full vibrant reality of what it means to act in our real world. Framing agency as mere intelligence was a reductionist misstep, an attempt to simplify a complexity too vast for silos. True agency is a symphony, not a solo, a blend of internal drives and external supports, of individual talents and collective strengths. As we face the demands of a rapidly changing world, this truth matters more than ever. By honoring the multifaceted nature of agency, we can design systems that don't just chase efficiency and effectiveness, but achieve them in ways that are inclusive, sustainable, and deeply human. Let us move beyond the narrow confines of intelligence and embrace the whole symphony of agency, because it is there, in its richness and interplay, that our greatest potential lies. And with this said, I'm ending this presentation, and I'm coming back to the beginning of this presentation when I told you that my name is Paul Arsov and I'm the founder of the Decentralized Web project. I like to tell you about this and several other projects that we're working on and we did release or we're in process of releasing. But first, the Decentralized Web project builds a decentralized communication and advertising platform, and as I just mentioned, the project is monetized through advertising. The project has its own blockchain instance, and this blockchain instance rewards people who come and join our platform. It rewards them with tokens, and it also rewards people inviting like current users on our platform, inviting other people to join our platform, and for doing this our users are rewarded with tokens. Also, our users are rewarded with tokens for viewing advertising, which is very permissive. And for example, the user has to request starting the viewing of advertising, and then they have to click on a button to advance from one ad to another, and for this they're rewarded, of course, with tokens. I'd like to mention that our implementation of decentralization is different than what blockchain technology means as decentralization. We view blockchain technology as fundamentally flawed and unsuitable to drive decentralization, and in our view and our implementation of decentralization, we allow direct communication from user to user without going through a third party, namely a server, which distributes information back to the users, or a central point which collects information from users and then it distributes this information back. Once again, in our implementation, we allow only direct communication from user to user. With this said, I like to tell you the name and the URL of the website of the project. It is decentralizedweb.org. Decentralized and web, these are two words. They're typed all together. Then there is dot and it ends with org. Once again, decentralizedweb.org. With this said, I'm going to the next project that we built and released. And in this project, we have a marketplace and collection of non-fungible tokens or NFTs. In this project, we have our own blockchain instance, and it runs Ethereum software, and it is the same software which runs on Ethereum mainnet. It runs on Binance Smart Chain blockchain. It runs on Avalanche AVAX blockchain, and it runs also on many other famous or not so famous blockchains in existence. By having three-dimensional objects as non-fungible tokens, from the very beginning of our project, we decided to build our own 3D software engine instead of using a standard 3D software engine, namely a game engine, for example, called Unity, or a game engine called, for example, Unreal. From the very beginning, we built our own 3D software engine, and what it does, it reads the file of the 3D NFT object, then it opens a window on a computer screen, it displays the 3D object in the window it opened, and then it starts animating it in a way of moving it, the 3D NFT, in a random fashion around the window it did open. With this said, I like to mention that our 3D software engine has multiple additional capability, and the first additional capability of the 3D NFTs is the capability of speaking. The 3D NFTs can speak in one of three different voices, namely a male voice, female voice, or a whisper kind of a voice. In addition to the three basic voices, there are three different flavors of voices. A voice can be spoken either in a normal speed, or in a fast speed, or in a slow speed fashion. The next additional important capability of our 3D NFTs is the capability of voice recognition. The 3D NFTs can recognize voice commands, and you can issue when you see a 3D NFT being animated in a way of moving it in a random fashion around a window, then you can issue your very first voice command to the 3D NFT to stop moving, and then the 3D NFT is going to stand still and stop moving. You can issue following voice commands to the 3D NFT to move left, move right, move up, move down, zoom in, zoom out, rotate. And then the 3D NFT is going to fulfill each one of these separate voice commands and move left, then move right, move up, then move down, come closer, zoom in, go further away, zoom out, and start rotating. The next additional and important capability of our 3D NFTs is the capability of them having a basic artificial intelligence. Wow, really wow. You can ask the 3D NFT what is your name, and then the 3D NFT is going to reply with their name. You can ask the 3D NFT to describe something. For example, describe Web3, or describe decentralization, or describe Russia. And then the 3D NFT is going to describe in few sentences about Web3 or decentralization or the country called Russia. The last additional but not least important capability of our 3D NFTs is the capability of them being displayed in a way of stereoscopics. What stereoscopics means is that part of the 3D NFT is going to be displayed in red or reddish colors, and another part of the 3D NFT is going to be displayed in blue or bluish colors. Then you can come to our 3D NFT marketplace, and now is the time to tell you the name and the URL of the website of our 3D NFT marketplace and collections. It is 3D NFT www.decentralizedweb.org. 3D NFT is typed in a way of the number 3 followed by the letter D followed by 3 other letters N, F, T, and it is typed all together 3D NFT. Then there is dot, then there are two words, decentralized and web, and they're typed all together, decentralized web. Then there is dot and it ends with org. Once again, 3dnft.decentralizedweb.org. On the top of the main page and every other page, you can see links to accessories. One of these links points to, you can see a number of links. One of these links points to links to accessories. When you click on this link, you're going to see that we're offering special glasses. When you click on the button and you order one pair of these glasses, and when you receive these glasses, you can see that one lens of these glasses is red and the other lens of these glasses is blue or cyan. Then you can put these glasses on. You can request displaying the 3D NFT in a way of stereoscopics, and then you're going to see the 3D NFT as coming out of the flat two-dimensional computer screen, and you're going to see it in real 3 dimensions. With this said, I'm ending talking about our 3D software engine, and I like to mention something about our 3D NFT marketplace. In our 3D NFT marketplace, we allow our users to buy and receive proceedings from sale in multiple crypto coins. The choices currently include Solana Sol, Polygon Matic, Avalanche Avax, and Qcoin, which is a big centralized crypto exchange. They have a coin called KCS. In addition to buying and receiving proceedings from sale in crypto, we have a second parallel and independent way of buying and receive proceedings from sale, and it is done entirely in fiat currency. So let's say you're a user, you come to our 3D NFT marketplace, you click on the composite image of our first collection, and you are going to see all of the 3D NFTs listed one after another. When you click on one 3D NFT that you like, and you then are like going to go through the steps to purchase this 3D NFT, then you're going to present it with the drop-down menu, which is asking you to choose a method of payment between 4 different crypto coins and the 5th choice of paying with fiat currency. So let's say you select paying with fiat currency, you click on the button to advance next, and then you're going to present it with a screen which is asking you to put the number of your debit card or credit card, CVC, and expiration date. When you click on the button to complete this transaction, what is going to happen is there is going to be a transaction and a transfer and conversion from your national fiat currency, which could be different from US dollars, and then this transaction is going to be converted to US dollars and deposited in our bank account. Then we're going to follow this with the transaction and transfer of ownership from the initial ownership from our 3D NFT marketplace to you, and now you become the owner of this 3D NFT. Then you can, after playing with for a while with this 3D NFT, you can decide to put this 3D NFT for sale. You decide on the price you want to put for this 3D NFT for sale, and then let's say the second user who comes, they browse through the 3D NFT marketplace, and they like in particular, and they want to buy the 3D NFT that you put for sale. They're going to be presented with the same choices of choosing between 4 different choices of crypto and a 5th choice of paying with fiat currency. So let's say they select paying with fiat currency, then they put the number of their debit or credit card, expiration date, CVC, and when they complete the transaction, there's going to be transaction and conversion from their national fiat currency, which could be different from your national fiat currency and different than US dollars, and then transaction is going to be converted to US dollars and deposited in our bank account. Then we're going to follow this with a transaction and transfer of the ownership from you to the second user, and now this second user becomes owner of this 3D NFT. Then we're going to follow this with a transaction and a conversion from US dollars to your national fiat currency, and this transfer is going to be deposited in your bank account in your national fiat currency. With this said, I'm ending talking about this second project. I'd like to mention a third project that we're working on, and this third project is building charging products for electric vehicles. With the growing number of electric vehicles, the current way of charging these electric vehicles resembles the way internal combustion engines, which are coming to gas stations, they load gas, they pay for it, and then they leave. In the same way, owners of electric vehicles, they're coming to charging stations outfitted with a limited number of charging columns. Then they connect electric cable to their electric vehicle. They request charging of their electric vehicle. They wait for a while their car is charging electric energy, and then they pay for this electric energy which was loaded in their electric vehicle, and then they leave. But we estimate with the exponentially growing number of electric vehicles is going to become insufficient, and this number of charging stations is going to become insufficient to handle the exponential growing number of electric vehicles. So what we're proposing and what we're building charging products for is the parking lot model, where owners of electric vehicles which are living in high-rise residential buildings or low-rise, for that matter, residential buildings, which are outfitted with a like ground floor parking lot or multiple underground floors of parking lots. Then, like the owner of this electric vehicle, which comes in the evening to this residential building, which has been outfitted with the type of products that we're building can then connect electric cable to their electric vehicle. They can identify themselves to the charger with their debit card, credit card, or near field communication card, or near field communication keychain token, or near field communication ring which they're wearing. And then they can request charging of electric energy to their electric vehicle, and then they can leave their electric vehicle to charge during the evening, during the night, and early morning. But many of the owners of electric vehicles, they may be coming to office buildings, and these office buildings in the same way could be outfitted with a ground floor parking lot or multiple underground floors of parking lot. So if this office building is outfitted with types of charging products that we're building, then they could, the owner of the electric vehicle, when they come in the morning for work, they can connect an electric cable to their vehicle. They could identify themselves to the charger in the same way by their debit card, credit card, or near field communication card, or token, or ring. And they could start charging their vehicle while they are at work during the morning, afternoon, and early evening. With this said, I like to tell you the name and the URL of the website of this project. It is power.rstack.com. Power is the ordinary word for power. Then there is dot, then there is a word which I can spell it letter by letter. It is Alpha, Romeo, Sierra, Tom, Echo, Charlie, Hotel. Altogether, rstack, and then there is dot, and it ends with com. Once again, power.rstack.com. On the main page, you can see an article named Gas Station Model versus Parking Lot Model. And this article describes in very big detail about the projects that we're building, and it describes in very big details about capabilities and what additional features we would be having and are having implemented in our products, which could benefit not only the owners of electric vehicles, but the strata of residential buildings, or the owners of office buildings, or distribution companies, electric distribution companies, or electric utilities. And this could benefit them enormously, because if electric utility, the electric utility has to balance at any moment of time the generating capability with consumption and power consumption capability. So if there is a request to consume more power that the electric utility is generating at the moment, the electric utility would have no other choice but to turn off a specific neighborhood, or a specific city, or a specific region, so that it could then offer additional like start providing more generating capability so that they could meet the demand of their neighborhoods or cities or regions of electric energy. I mean sudden and unplanned and unrequested demand. With this said, I'm ending talking about this project. I like to mention the next project that we're working on. This project built artificial intelligence agents, and currently we have 2 agents, and these agents are actually communicating with only with each other, and the user is just an observer of this interaction between the 2 artificial intelligence agents. And so with this set, I like to tell you that each of these artificial intelligence agents is outfitted with their own gender, their own avatar, their own voice, their own pitch of voice, and they're outfitted with a specific prompt with which they are then could start the interaction. So like I can give an example. Let's say the first AI agents is having a female gender, they have a female voice, a female avatar, and they have the initial prompt to be very seductive. So let's say this the second AI agent is outfitted with a male personality, male voice, male avatar, and their initial prompt is to be very angry. So then the user could request start this interaction, and they're going to just observe the interaction between a female AI entity trying to seduce the male AI entity, and then the male AI entity is responding back in angry fashion to the female AI entity. So with this said, I like to tell you the name and the URL of the website of this project. It is ai2ai.decentralizedweb.org. AI to AI is typed in a way of the letter A followed by the letter I followed by the number 2 followed by the letter A and letter I, and it is all together AI to AI. Then there is dot, then there are 2 words typed all together, decentralized and web. Then there is dot and it ends with org. Once again, AI to AI dot decentralizedweb.org. With this said, I'm ending talking about this project, and I like to mention the last project that we are working on. It is still work on progress, and it doesn't have a website or minimal product released for users to try. But I like to mention that this project is building actually an automating agent, and this automatic agent is basically recording a sequence of actions which the user is performing whether be it in web browser or on a normal program that you're running on your computer or on your mobile device or a tablet. And after recording these actions, then you can put a label on this sequence of actions, and then at some point later you can say or type this label, and then this automating agent is going to go through the steps one after another, and then at the last step ask you to confirm and for example pay for a purchase, or do like the last definite action of this sequence. With this set, I like to bring examples, and the first example is, for example, you're looking for a specific food item and you want this food item to be delivered to you, and this food item could be found in a certain number of food stores. Then you could initially go through the several different food stores, then pick one of these food stores, click on the food that you want to purchase, and then you can pay for this food and request it delivered in your specific address. So you, the user, could then label this specific sequence of actions to as buying of this food items and so on. Then at a later point, when you type or say I want to buy so and so item, then the automating agent is going to start going through this sequence of commands and stop on the last action, namely at the point of payment, where you can say yes and confirm this action, and then the food item is going to be delivered in your address as you requested it. With this said, I like to end this presentation. Thank you for listening. Thank you for viewing. Have a nice day. Have a nice evening, and goodbye.